Hello, fitness friend, and thank you for joining me today for the Slouch Solution. Posture and movement habits, how they affect your life, and what to do about it. My name is Julie Anne McGready, and at the end, I'll be giving away 3 free gifts, including a copy of my book, Forever Fit and Happy. So, just a little bit about myself. I am an ACE certified personal trainer and an integrative movement specialist. I own Your Movement Solutions. So, I help individuals 50 plus achieve pain free movement plus strength so that they are able to do things that they need, want, and love to do with confidence. I also own Blair's Fit Foundation, a nonprofit company providing exercise classes for developmentally and physically challenged adults. And I am the developer of Thermoflex 29, a 4-week holistic program that encompasses personalized foot exercises, breath work, and simple strengthening techniques designed to improve movement, strength, and lower neuropathy. I'm the co-author of Fit for Life and the author of Forever Fit and Happy and Don't Ignore Your Own Potential. The goals for today's webinar are we're going to talk about posture and how everyday posture affects our lives. I'll share with you some things maybe you never thought about before when it comes to your posture, and talk about some myths and untruths about posture. And finally, I'm going to help you give you something that you can start doing on your very own in order to help you gain better posture and movement today. Now, please note that this is not medical advice. This does not replace the advice of your current healthcare team, and it is for educational purposes only. So in life, there are 3 components you must have in order to enjoy a high-functioning, long life. You must be able to breathe well. You must be able to balance well, and you must have good brain health. Consider this. We're all born about the same. Some babies are born with some physical issues, but generally speaking, we all have the same postures when we're born. No one has forward rolled shoulders or kyphotic back or military position or misaligned feet. So, how is it then that we end up from having these nice, long, linear bodies with perfect little postures to when we're in our 40s, 50s, and beyond, having things like rounded shoulders, kyphotic back, and a lot of the things listed here? How does that happen? Well, at the very beginning, we must think about our lifestyle habits as an assembly line. So, our lifestyle habits are just an assembly line, things that we do over and over again, really from the time we're born. Take a look at this picture, father and son. I love this picture. You can clearly see how the son has mirrored his father in his standing posture. We mimic or mirror posture movement habits from those that are closest to us right out of the gate. This creates our first changes in our posture. Then we add in things like how we sit, how often we sit, how we stand, how we sit and watch TV, even how we drive, how we lift things, how we work repetitively. All of these things push and pull on our body's tissues, and over time bring them out of alignment, much like when you drive your car for a long time and your tires become out of alignment. Our bodies work the same way. It's interesting, isn't it? Then we have extrinsic forces also that have a direct impact on changing our natural postures. Forces such as what type of shoes we wear. Oftentimes, they're over supportive when we're little people. Learning how to walk, we're put into shoes, generally speaking, that give us a little more support where we don't even need that. We're taught the more narrower or the more snug The more supportive a shoe, the better. High heels, these dress shoes, these are things that are eye appealing to us as well because that's what we're taught. Even a lot of running shoes are often too tight. So, what's the problem with this? Well, I'm glad you asked. When we're born, we're all generally born with wider toe base and a narrow heel, as you see here on the left with this baby's foot. Here on the right, this was a client of mine in his 70s, over 6 foot tall, that wore dress shoes his whole entire adult life. And you can see how they really narrowed down his feet. So, our feet and our toes, once we have these extrinsic forces like the type of shoes we wear, they definitely have an impact on our feet. So, our feet and toes behave differently than what they should behave naturally. And that has an immediate impact on everything up the chain in our bodies, even the surfaces we walk on, hard surfaces like tile and wood flooring. This is harder than the ground. So this has an impact, direct impact on our feet, which has an impact all the way up the chain. Another extrinsic force we have on us is things that people teach us along the way, often by well-meaning folks. Pull your abs in, squeeze your butt, squeeze the shoulder blades in, down, and back. Stick your chest up tall. All of these things are meant to solve a problem, like maybe make you stronger or maybe make you look thinner. But when you think about it, we weren't going along around as little people pulling in their abs, squeezing our butt, unless somebody taught us that. So these cues can often present problematic later on. We won't feel that way until we have a problem or an injury. And we really never blame these cues because they're so widespread taught. So over time, all of these things on the right hand side of the chart, all of these things represent the assembly line of lifestyle habits and extrinsic forces, and they accumulate as you age. And this reconfigures our nervous system. It has to adapt to these new postures, and our body systems begin to change, right down to our breathing system. That's right. So by the time we're in our 40s, 50s, and beyond, now most individuals have some or a lot of these issues that are shown here. So pain, discomfort, injury, and the list goes on. Even indigestion, incontinence, loss of performance, strength, and stamina, compromised balance until movement becomes less than what it was. So the question is, what do we do? Well, we need to look at three-dimensional breathing first. And as you see this breathing, you can see there's a lot of movement that goes on when you breathe. So your breathing system is the first thing, generally speaking, or the secondary thing after an injury that becomes compromised. And then a lot of individuals will say, well, I'm breathing and I'm breathing just fine. Well, if you're walking and your movement isn't like it used to be, then your breathing isn't what it used to be either. But don't take my word for it. Let's go through a series of exercises and and I'll prove it to you. Now, if you have a high pain tolerance, you will need a kitchen-like chair or a chair that you can sit with hips and knees 90 degrees with your feet flat on the floor. If you have a high pain tolerance, you may not feel much going on or much change after. So you may want to sit in front of a mirror so that you can see some changes. Do not go through these if you are currently in physical therapy or under a doctor care for neck and or shoulder issues, or if you've had neck and or shoulder surgery in the last 6 months. So here we go. We're going to run through 3 short videos, and I'll let you pause the button while you get your chair lined up and or your mirror. And here we go. Hello, fitness friend. Let's check out your shoulder flexibility. Sitting in a kitchen-like chair, your rib cage over the pelvis or your hips, refraining from leaning forward or leaning back into that chair. Arms are going to be down along your sides. Let's start with the left side first. Take your right hand on the front left rib cage here. If this feels like it's too tight or it's kind of hard to reach, just go ahead and bring that arm down along your side. Left elbow is going to be long, arm is close to the body. Go ahead, slowly raise it up to your pain-free range of motion. Where it stops, or where your rib cage starts to float up into your hand or you arch your back, that's when you stop as well. Let's compare it to the other side here. Again, coming up to your pain-free range of motion, elbow is long, arm is close to the body. And you're really comparing right to left here. Let's go ahead and do it again. And you're checking for 3 things. First of all, range of motion. What side goes up higher without forcing and to your pain-free range of motion. And we're going to do it one more time each side so you can gather that information. The other thing, the second thing you're looking for is ease of movement. What's the quality of the movement like? Is it smooth? Does it float up? Or is it heavy? Or the third thing, is there any discomfort? Okay, that's our shoulder flexibility assessment. Now we're going to go into 3-dimensional breathing. Welcome back, fitness friend. Now that you've gathered the information on which shoulder was tighter, and if you didn't, that's okay. But you're going to choose the tighter side. If you couldn't really figure out which side was tighter, just pick a side. You're going to, again, sit in that kitchen-like chair, ribs over the pelvis, and bring your arms down to your sides. I'm going to do my left side because my left arm and shoulder are tighter. Take your opposite hand onto that rib cage. Again, if this is too tight and too hard of a reach, simply leave the arm down to the side to do this exercise. If this kind of pulls up into the neck, place your hands on top of your thighs. So choose the right position for you, one that's easy and doesn't make you feel like you're tightening down. Inhaling into the area of tightness or the side that you picked through your nose, and exhale through your nose, nice and gentle, making sure that your shoulders aren't going to pop up or your tummy is not going to expand. Go ahead and inhale, picture your breath going out to that rib cage and pause. Exhale and picture that breath coming all the way up and out through your nose. Inhale, picturing that breath coming all the way out into that rib cage, pause. And picture that breath coming all the way up and out through your nose. And inhale, pause, and exhale. And one more. Picture that breath going out to that tighter side, hold. Exhale and picture that breath coming all the way up and out through your nose. Take 2 quiet breaths here for your rest. And let's go again. Picture your breath going out as you inhale into that rib cage. Pause. Picture your breath coming all the way up and out through your nose. And pause. Inhale slowly. Pause. Exhale and just get a sense of peace here. And inhale, pause, exhale. Exhale should be a little longer than the inhales. And one more. Picture that breath going out, expanding into that rib cage. And exhale and picture that breath coming all the way up and out through your nose. 2 quiet breaths. We'll do one more set. And here we go. Inhaling, picturing that breath going out to that rib cage. Pause. Exhale and picture that breath coming all the way up and out through your nose. Again, and while you do this, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Exhale, and make sure you're not belly breathing. 2 more breaths. Inhale, pause, exhale, and one more. Picture that breath going out to that rib cage, expanding it. Pause and exhale, and picture that breath coming all the way up and out through your nose. Great job. Next, we're going to recheck our shoulder flexibility. Okay, now we're going to check and see what happened after you did 3 sets of 3-dimensional breathing. You're going to recheck your shoulders in the very same way that you did it the first time. So your arms are either along your sides, hands on the thighs, or you're going to place your hand up underneath the opposite rib cage. And for me, my left arm was tighter, so I'm using my right hand to feel what's happening here on the left ribs. Elbow again is long, arm is close to the body, and go ahead and raise your arm to the pain-free range and just check it out. How does it feel? Is there any improvement in range of motion? So for me, my left shoulder was tighter and I can get much further up this time. And of course, right arm is easy as well. So hopefully you notice a difference in either range of motion, quality of movement, or maybe there's less discomfort. If you didn't notice any difference, then there may be something a little more underlying going on. Have a fit and fabulous day.
Okay. Woohoo!
Okay.
So,
Now
did
we're
you
going
feel
to
a difference?
check and see
I sure hope you
what
did.
happened after
But
you
no
did
worries.
3 sets
If you
of
did feel a
3-dimensional
difference,
breathing.
this will be such an
You're going
important
to recheck your
exercise for
shoulders
you
in
to
the
do
very
throughout the day.
same way
That
that
will
you
have a
did it the
direct
first time.
impact
So
on your posture,
arms are
movement,
either
as
along
well
your
as your
sides,
well-being.
hands on the thighs.
So to recap, we did a shoulder flexion self-check first. Then we moved into 3 sets of 5 3-dimensional breaths. And then we rechecked our shoulder flexion again. If you didn't see any change, then perhaps there's some underlying issues that are going on. So it may be a little more to it than that. So in conclusion, posture is an assembly line of lifestyle habits, and it's created from intrinsic and extrinsic forces that make up an individual's life's experience. Over time, this leads to imbalances, which leads to issues, which then becomes movement less than what it used to be. Breathing well is one of 3 parts of achieving a high functional long life, along with balancing well and good brain health. Practicing 3-dimensional breathing on a regular basis creates mobility and deep core strength, actually. So today we just practiced one out of many, many different breathing exercises. However, depending on what your body's been through and what your body needs,
You may require a different breathing pattern specific to you and your body's needs. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day today to join me. I hope that you found the information to be helpful and educational. So, as promised, I have 3 thank you gifts. You can call me at the phone number right here, 941-627-1256, or email me at yourmovementsolutions@gmail.com and let me know that you watched this webinar. And I'll be happy to send you or have you come in for your free hard copy book. And I have the digital copy on my website, callyms.com, and click on My Books, and you will be able to download them there. But if you reach out, I will be happy to give you a breathing assessment as well. So go ahead and call, email, or you can click on my website. And I do give away free 15-minute clarity calls. And I would love to hear what's going on with you and your body. So thank you again for your time today. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon. And until then, have a fit and fabulous day.